In the few minutes I have left with you, Bruce Feldman, Fox Sports and The Athletic, I'd like to get your reaction to a tweet sent out by my colleague at NFL Network and the NFL Media Group, Tom Pelissero. If you wouldn't mind putting it up on the screen. Multiple NFL teams have inquired about whether legendary coach Bill Belichick would reconsider his move to college football, including the Raiders, whose new minority owner, Tom Brady, spoke recently with his old coach, per league sources. Your first blush reaction to that would be what?
Man, where was this like 2 months ago for like to set, Tom Brady was, and I'm not saying like I like Tom and I think he does a really good job. I'm just, the first blush reaction to that is Tom Brady couldn't have talked to his old coach like 2 months ago.
Well, I mean, he was still trying to get into ownership with the Raiders.
But just to say, hey, if it comes to fruition,
maybe
this could have been, because it wasn't like all of a sudden, poof, Bill Belichick took the North Carolina job. There was like a run up of about 10 days. The thing I would have thought would be more likely scenario was Tom Brady talks to his old buddy Mike Vrabel and go, hey, why don't you come to the Raiders? That, and again, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but like.
Well, the other tweet that Tom sent out is it's a $10 million buyout before June 1, and everybody's trying to go through fine print to see if that even involves the NFL, and how $10 million is, technically, it's not car ashtray money, but it's still in the realm of I can get Bill Belichick, I'm going to go get him. Do you think that? Let me ask it this way: are there nervous people in Chapel Hill right now? Do you think?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't, because in one sense, if you're North Carolina and the people who really push this through, and I'm just thinking, aloud, it was going from, hey, we're going to pay you $5 million, then all of a sudden they found $10 million a year, and the way this contract was set up, for a year from now, it was going to be $1 million buyout, which is not prohibitive at all.
Right.
And then, but you're sitting there going, okay, but if he waits another year, he's going to be 74 before the next NFL season. I mean, I'm on the record, and I feel like I said this to you, weeks ago, and I definitely wrote about this. I think Bill Belichick will have success in the ACC. I just think after, like I saw he's now on Twitter, and he's, I think after about a year of this or 2 years of this, he will be so disgusted by being what it takes to be a college football head coach that he'll be like, I don't need this.
That's your two. That's
your
sixth sense. That's your gut.
Yeah.
On that
Now the
one?
question would be, would he be so disgusted after 2 weeks of being on Twitter and 2 weeks of trying to go into homes and recruiting and deal with this, where we go, yeah, I'll take the Raiders job and let's move to Vegas?
I asked Dion when he was on 3 weeks ago, I'm like, do you have any advice for Bill? As I know he's Bill Belichick, but you have more experience in the college game than Bill. He said, yeah, don't do home visits. That was his
Well, he's doing visits. I mean, he's got also what's different though is Dion had access to two difference makers right out of the gate.
Sure did.
His son, more than that, because the safety they had is a great college player. Like Dion coached him when he was in high school and then at Jackson State. So Dion had this pipeline into players where Bill Belichick, as the greatest football coach in the history of the NFL, he doesn't have that. Like he's going to have to, and I'm sure there's people who are listening, and I know high school coaches are going to be so enamored by it, and there'll certainly be players who are, but you still got to find those guys, and it's late in the process. Like most of the top recruits in this class are already signed and they're probably enrolled. I mean, there's not a bunch of Bryce Underwoods, but there are guys who are already practicing with their teams and working out. Now all of a sudden you're getting whatever you're getting. And again, he's going into the ACC, not the SEC. Yeah, that's fascinating. Tom's tweet, Pelissero's tweet about the Raiders, I don't know if it's like Bill Belichick has enough money, he could probably buy himself out of that deal if he really wanted to get out of it, right? $10 million to him after all, he was making probably double that for I don't know how many years with the Patriots. I'm sure if he really wanted to make that happen, he could make it happen.
Which is why I was asking if there's nervous people in North Carolina, that maybe he did do 2, 3, 4 weeks of just going around and seeing what it would take and how he might have to figuratively bend the knee for an 18-year-old kid.
I think they're only nervous that the basketball program is really struggling. They've been decent, but not great in football forever. So, you know.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.